After 45 minutes of action, still goalless between the two sides. Let's take you now to the Los Angeles Stadium and hear from the assistant coach, Midnight Express.
Tense first half, you had your moments. Canada certainly had theirs. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would say we started very well. But as the game progressed, then we're starting now to struggle with the physicality. And also when we are in possession, we tended to lose the ball easily. And even when we get into the final third, then the support is always late. So it's something that we need really to work on, especially trying to adapt to their physicality and speed as well.
Well, that is assistant coach Helman Mkele speaking there at the halftime break. Just thoughts in terms of what he's saying. Just started well, but as the game progressed, it got a little bit nervy for South Africa.
I fully agree with him. I think we had a very good start to this match. Look at that first chance, Makgopa. First touch is taking him backwards, and it's on his right foot. I want to believe if he had just drove into the box and forced to take a shot with his right foot, we could have done better. But look, we nearly scored, and suddenly we were almost exposed. Thanks to Mbogazi, but he was also a little bit casual as well here, and fortunately recovered. But we could have scored on the other side, we missed, and they could have immediately scored on our side.
That transition moving very, very fast from attack to defense for South Africa.
Yeah, and looking at that pitch as well, Coach, you saw as soon as Makgopa missed it, Mudau was already up front, and I think for me, he's at the moment one of the players that needs to kind of pull up his socks or be a bit more focused because, as Coach mentioned, after our lack of concentration, we saw now Canada coming at us as hard as possible. And I think we need to regroup as South Africa, especially from the defensive point of view, because I think we're allowing them free chances. Perhaps if we can have more marking, especially closer to our goals, so that we do not give them the space and time, but instead we just put them under pressure to make mistakes. And
speaking about those chances for Canada here, Doc, we look at some of them. We see here Laria from Toronto FC forcing a Maseko to go into defense for South Africa.
Yeah, well, defensively, we're very poor so far because you look at the lines, the gaps between the players, and we're defending too deep.
But I think, Doc, we should comment Maseko coming to cover Mudau there because we could have been very exposed.
Yeah, no, we could have very been exposed. Hence, I'm saying, you know, our lines, the distances. So remember when I said, if Mudau happens to go, then who's supposed to be coming to defend?
But is it even necessary for him to go, Doc? Because I feel right now he's more worried about going forward and not fully focusing on his responsibility as a defender, which now is overworking Mbogazi as well.
The challenge then, Kinelo, comes when you are playing with inverted wingers.
Yeah.
Because when your wingers are cutting inside, then your fullback is expected to provide width.
And I think, Coach,
and immediately you lose possession, there's a hole behind your fullback.
Yeah, because of those mistakes, now we have given Canada almost 2-3 free kicks, which we spoke about. They are deadly because also given their height. And if you look at Umila, his ability to play those quality passes, just a loop over the defenders, which is now between the goalkeeper and his striker now. It can create confusion and chaos for Oronwen because then as a goalkeeper, you need to make a decision, do I go out, do I stay? But I think what we just saw now, it was good of him not to get out as quickly as possible because had we went out, I think it was probably going to become a goal.
We speak of the critical phases of the game this year, South Africa having to make multiple saves. We saw Aubrey in there. We saw Ronwen in there. Speaking of how nervy it's been defensively.
Well, I guess, I don't know, but I thought probably they might have fouled Ronwen there. But again, Mudiba, I wouldn't want to say came to the rescue, but that's how an experienced defender has to do it. Because if you can look at where's Ronwen, so those defenders have to cover the goalkeeper, and it's exactly what Mudiba has done. This is about experience. So there, you see? And then now look at Mudiba there. You see, when the keeper is out of his position, then we need to recover, or I mean, as a defense, for us to be able to cover the defender.
And quite a number of South African players there. You look in an evidence, Makgopa next to Aubrey Modiba.
But are they marking the Canadians or just being there in numbers, which then also create confusion for the players from South Africa? Because if you just there, I mean, we saw two players now from Canada jumping together with no pressure from any South African player. And again, we look at that crucial moment. We spoke about them focusing and concentrating from the get-go. And already, if we look, this is also the crucial moment about a minute in the end of first half. And again, I think Mudau, he needs to switch on, because in many occasions we find him reacting to the situation, because it's almost like he takes for granted where he should be man marking or getting closer to the player, and to find himself just, you know, trekking and running and chasing. I mean, yeah, it's fortunate that he didn't commit the penalty, but if he does not get in the right places, in the right position at the right time, he is going to commit the foul. Because again, if the Canadian coach has picked up that Mudau is weak when they cut in.
Slightest touch on the ball there. But it's what makes all the difference. That was a tackle there, Mudau, on Oluwaseye of Villarreal, and really just making all the difference, because if they get a penalty in the 45th minute, that's critical to go into that halftime break 1-0 down.
We said it earlier. We should try our best to avoid giving them set pieces. We should try to defend a little bit higher and make sure that we are very intelligent in our defending, because these moments like this decide matches. This could have easily resulted in a yellow card and a penalty.
Indeed.
Then from there, your fullback can no longer commit to tackles, and you are compromised. But I must still say the fact that we have gone 45 minutes without conceding a goal, in as much as there were navy moments.
Coach, I'm going to come back to you now. Let's just take you through to a quick ad break, and when we return, we get closer to the second half action at the Los Angeles Stadium.